Stuyvesant. You're watching
StuyInterviews.
Hi everyone, my name is Miss Salman. I'm a rising senior at Stuyvesant and the founder and president of StuyInterviews. Today we're presenting you with a video that's somewhat of a how to get into college 101. So we asked a bunch of students who just graduated the class of 2023 questions for the class of 2024. Some questions are, what made you stand out in your application? What did you do in high school that you recommend other students should do? How did you choose what college you're going to? And any suggestions for the college application in general, the Common App and financial aid, just all of it. So we hope this video is helpful, especially to those students who are currently applying to college. I know it's a very stressful process, but we're in it together and we'll be fine. Thank you so much for tuning in and enjoy.
Hi everyone, I'm Anna. I use she, her pronouns. I graduated from Stuyvesant last year, so class of 2023, and I'm a freshman at UC Berkeley, and I'm studying environmental studies.
awesome. So today I'm just going to be asking you a bunch of questions relating to kind of the college application process. So starting off, what do you think made you specifically stand out in your application?
I think that's a really hard question to answer. I think it's like for everyone who goes through the process, it's really hard to know. And you're often like after the process asking yourself how you got in some places and how you didn't to other places. I think for me, I had a lot of leadership experience in high school. I did a lot of mentoring, tutoring, advocacy, activism, and I was sort of like always looking to lead in those positions. So I think that was probably one thing that stood out for me. And then I also did a lot of work in the environmental movement, which I think is not super common among high schoolers, especially in New York City. So I think that was probably also another thing that stood out. But I'll never be sure and I'll never know. So
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And kind of same question, but on the maybe like admissions officers aspect. In general, what do you think is most valuable to admissions officers? I heard someone say like a few years, like a long time ago, it was just your GPA and SAT, and now they look more extracurriculars. So what do you think it was for your cycle?
yeah, I think again, leadership. I think showing a commitment not necessarily to 10 different extracurriculars, but to one where you really work through the ranks and you invest a lot of time in it and you really try to improve and grow the organization or the community that you're working in as well. I think that's really important. So just commitment to one subject and dedication, passion in that area. And it doesn't have to be just one thing, it can be a couple, but as long as you're dedicating that time and energy to making those like your thing and really investing in them, I think that's the most important thing you can do.
That totally makes sense. So what do you think people who are becoming seniors now, what should they be doing to kind of prepare for the application process?
Yeah, I feel like right now is a really great time to start working on your Common App if you haven't already, writing that main essay. And then one thing that I really noticed for myself while I was applying to schools was that my supplements got so much better as I kept writing them. So by the end of the process, when I was in sort of the home stretch, I was writing them really quickly, really well, and they were all coming out sort of exactly as I wanted them to sound. Whereas in the beginning of the process, it took me much longer. I had to sort of think about it more because I was just developing those ideas from scratch. So I think the sooner you can start on those supplements, the easier it will be in the process, and it will also give you a lot more time to refine them, and make them better before you submit your applications. And I think that's really key because, like, looking back on some of my earlier applications now, like the ones that I did through early action and early decision, I wish I had spent more time on them because I could have written them better.
Yeah, totally. That makes sense. Thank you so much for that. And kind of on internships, it might be a little too late for seniors, but for everyone before, what's a good place to find certain internships and programs?
Yeah, I think specifically for Sty, I think Mr. Blum's opportunity bulletin does a really good job of laying a lot of those out. And even if you don't see ones in there that you love or that you are super interested in, he often links like a bunch of resources at the bottom that you can use to find other ones. Or if you go to the websites of some of those, they might link you to others that you might like better. And then also like the DOE puts out a couple bulletins as well. And then just like, kind of like just Googling stuff that you're interested in. And the more specific you can be, the easier it is to find stuff.
Yeah, awesome. That makes perfect sense. When you were researching colleges, what are the different factors that you considered?
Yeah, so I was kind of very open in terms of everything like location and size and sort of like demographics and that kind of thing. I knew I wanted to study environmental studies like going into my senior year of high school. So I narrowed down my schools based on major. But you can really do it in a variety of ways. I know some people who didn't really know what they wanted to do at all. They didn't really know what they wanted from colleges. They just sort of went on a lot of tours and sort of felt it out to see what they really liked. But yeah, for me, once I was actually touring and like getting into places and trying to decide between schools, it was definitely, it came down to the campus and the people who I met there, and just sort of the culture. The campus culture is what was most important to me in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That actually makes total sense. And for your school that you're going to, why did you select this one specifically?
Berkeley is sort of like it, but it wasn't really on my radar before I was applying to college. And then once I got in, I came out to see it, and it fits me like very, very well. It's a big school, but it has lots of places where you can make your own small community, which I really love. It's a school that like has its roots in activism and like direct action and that kind of thing, which I also really love. And it has a great environmental studies program, which is sort of what I was looking for. And it's in a beautiful place in a beautiful area. So that was how I decided.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I hope everyone finds a school like that just for them.
Yeah.
So another question is, so what's the total amount of schools you applied to, and how many schools do you recommend people apply to?
Yeah, so I applied to 16 schools, but three of those were in the University of California system. And so that's only one application. So it was more like 14 schools. And I would say that was probably a good number, I think, in terms of, especially because senior year is so stressful to begin with. And you're writing so many applications for different schools. I would recommend, if your schools all have supplements, I would like limit it to 15 or 16, just because more than that, it's really easy to get overwhelmed and to run out of time, and not to just put, and it's a lot harder to put your best effort into writing each application, which I think you really need to do. So yeah, I would say like 15 or 16 as kind of the max.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I've like kind of what you mentioned. So everyone always says senior year for first semester is like really stressful. Why do you think that is?
It's definitely stressful. I think in large part, I think because Stuyvesant, everyone there is really good at putting pressure on themselves to be better than the people around them. And it's not, it's like I found Sty to be very supportive and have a great culture in that way. But I thought that senior year, first semester, it was a little bit different because I think is obviously competing against each other like in real life. And so it just makes it much harder to, watch your friends get into their dream schools and you not get into your dream school, or other way around is hard as well, to watch your friends not get in and you get in. And so I think it just makes it harder to sort of feel like comfortable with yourself and confident in yourself. And then also like obviously the work of applying to colleges a lot, but I do think teachers are really considerate and try to give less work for a semester, which is great.
Thank you so much for that. Um, oh yeah. So everyone always says like the Common App process, all of it is like really stressful. Do you have any general advice to kind of specifically like lessen the stress?
Yeah, I mean, I think just like starting now and working in slow like chunks towards the deadline, like November comes up a lot sooner than you think it will, and then January 1st as well. So making sure you have like before school starts, like I did my activities section before school started, and I wrote my Common App, like my main essay before school started, and I thought that was really helpful to just have it out of the way before school, and then working on supplements slowly and being able to revise them and go back to them before actually submitting them, I think is also really helpful. And then using your friends to read and review your essays, I think is also a really great tip, because they're coming from the same place and they have a very similar perspective. So it's like not like an academic or like parental perspective that you might get from your teachers or your parents. But they're also really good resources. So use that.
Makes sense. And what are some Stuyvesant specific resources like that the school provides to help combat the process?
Yeah, well, something really great is that every English class for seniors in the fall has the first assignment is to submit a draft of your personal statement. And your teachers will give you really great feedback on that. And that was super helpful for me, I know. So that's a great resource. The college office is a great resource as well. And most English teachers are happy to read your supplements or your personal statement again many times and work with you through it, which I think is really, really nice of them and really great. And then I think also the Writing Center offers the same service. I could be wrong though.
That's great. And last question, is there any specific thing you would like to say to the rising seniors watching this?
Just good luck. You're gonna, at wherever you wind up is a good place for you to be. And I thought throughout the whole process, it was really hard for me to sort of not see my self-worth as like where I got in and where I was going. And to sort of separate like the work that I'd done through high school with where I was ending up. But I think like everything will work out for a reason and you'll be totally fine. So good luck.
Hi everyone, my name is Haley and I graduated from Stuyvesant High School in 2023. I currently attend Brown University in their PLME program, which is an 8-year combined BSMD program. So at the end of 8 years, I will have received a bachelor's as well as a medical doctorate. The college process is very arduous, and in order to mitigate that, you can start your essays during the summer, and then you'll have most of your early action schools done by the time school starts, and then you can have more time to focus on your regular decision applications. A lot of websites debrief how to approach the college supplements, and this is really helpful because then they also go through the prompts that the colleges provide, and this gives you ideas on how to formulate your own response. For the personal statement, I would say it's a little bit more difficult because you can definitely find guides for it online, but the colleges are really looking for you to write about just something important to you, something meaningful, and it doesn't have to be formatted the exact same way as a website might tell you. It's really about your personal story. I would suggest if you're having trouble writing the personal statement to just start writing about anything. It could be a day you remember, a class you really liked, and ideas sort of start to form from there, and then you can formulate, how has this impacted me? How has this changed who I am as a person? In my own essay, I expanded on my love of mysteries and later connected it to my love for medicine. It's very challenging to write a college essay if you haven't done a lot of research about the school, because these colleges really want to learn how you're going to expand your specific passions and your talents at their school. So they want to hear specific classes mentioned, specific professor names. It's very transparent when you copy and paste a supplication essay from one college to another, because they want to hear not how your talent is in general, they want to know that you're going to use your talent at their school. Researching the school is obviously not only important for writing the supplements, but it's very important in determining whether you actually want to apply to that school. There's a lot of pressure to just apply to a lot of schools and see which ones accept you, but it's also important that the schools you do choose to apply to suit your interests and that you could be happy there for 4 years. For me, I decided early on that I wasn't interested in attending a really small school, that I wanted a little bit of a larger school, and that helped me narrow down my application process a lot. BSMD programs are unique in the type of applicants they prefer. Unlike other universities who prefer a well-rounded student, BSMD programs prefer students with a clear and determined interest in the medical pathway. This can be demonstrated through shadowing or research or clinical experience. If you're currently looking to apply to a BSMD school, I would recommend getting involved in an activity that most universities would consider pre-med. This will really boost your application. These admissions officers want to not only see that you will succeed at their undergraduate school, they want to know that you will succeed at their medical school. I am very fortunate and grateful to have been accepted to Brown. Their program is very flexible and it encourages students to not only explore which career in the medical pathway they enjoy, but to take classes across all disciplines. They have a lot of research opportunities and a lot of mentors, and I'm very excited. Thank you for listening and good luck with your own applications.
What's up, guys? So I'm Amir. I'm currently a first year in Emory, Oxford. I graduated from Stuyvesant last year. So that was definitely a moment for sure. For the college application, so I definitely messed up. I didn't do much. I guess it depends on the year you were at, right? So like freshman year, I didn't take it too seriously. Not too shabby at all. Like you'll move on from that. Like the improvement that matters when you go into years. Join your extracurriculars for sure. Like get to know like upperclassmen specifically, like make sure that like you know them and all that jazz. But I'd say like my first 2 years, like you can't really do much other than like try like your summer opportunities that Mr. Bloom's like board or whatever. I joined the Brooklyn Arab Youth. I was waiting for myself to get to know like the community and like get to like work on events, and I thought it was really nice, like not even for a college process, but just to like talk to people that are in my community that only like get to the switch from Stuyvesant, which is like an hour away or whatever. Definitely harder. But what's it called? Yeah, and also for SAT stuff, that's probably a big deal in like for like college stuff. I thought so at least. I messed up. I didn't study too much. Kind of not a good thing. I got into Emory, but I think it was I don't know how the college process works exactly. So okay. Anyways, so as a what's it called? Yeah, took the SAT. I did really well on the PSAT actually. If I studied a little bit harder, I probably could have gotten the national merit. I got a 1470 before studying. But then I didn't study at all for the SAT. I thought it'd be fine. I took one, I think it was the November of junior year. Then I took the one before the school, like before the school SAT. And then I was waiting for results, so I didn't take the school one. Then waited until the summer or October of my senior year to take my second one. So I got a 1470, then I got on the PSAT, then a 1480 on the SAT, then a 1480 again, which is the only two I took. I definitely regret that. I could have done so much better, I think, if I studied a little bit harder. If I studied at all, actually. So definitely study. I'd say, like, take a practice test at least, see where you are, depending where that's from. Like, the PSAT, I think, is a really good start for sophomores, specifically. Like actually, like, consider it. If you have, like, a 1300 on your sophomore, like, PSAT, put in a little effort over the summer or whatever. Like, not that much. Don't kill yourself over it. Definitely try that. And then, yeah, I guess, like, get to like talk to teachers. I think that I found that like personally helpful for like learning wise. I talked to a lot of teachers, and I built that like friendship. Like I had one teacher for 3 years. Shout out Mr. McCulloch. He's not in the school, I think, this year. He might come back. I don't know. I'm not in here anymore. But yeah, he was really cool. He helped me with my rec. Also ask college office for help. They provide help. No one knows about it apparently. I didn't ask them. I probably should have, but they help for subs, help for essays. I think they're like extensive, like writing help, not like some surface level, whatever. But also, what I wonder what else like I kind of regret from like my application process. The way I stood out, I don't really know specifically. I guess like I applied to a lot of schools. That's why I was just don't do it. I think I applied to 30 total, including like the CUNYs and SUNYs. Don't do that. I'm trying to think what else. Like I stood out. I was in a couple of extracurriculars like Arista, very easy application process. You don't need to put too many hours into it. Big Sib, yeah. Vice president of MSA, and then the two community organizations. And I think those really helped me out, especially as like most of you guys, I was low income student, whatever. Having that community build up shows that like you're willing to kind of engage with people and not just like in the school basis. I feel like the school system like kind of like shelters you a little bit, because when you're going an hour on the train or whatever, you're not like really connected. I'm trying to think like what other advice I have. Like just get started early, please. like the summer of your senior year, like before you start like process, have your essay lined up at least. Have your school list lined up. If you have those two done, you're so good, because the problems don't change with the Common App. So Common App, at least your ideas, like get something on paper. So you can worry about subs, because I found myself struggling. I applied to QuestBridge, which was not like, it's good. Everything's good about it, but I just did not get help from it because it was a very early deadline and I was rushing. I didn't have a Common App ready. I didn't have subs ready. I didn't have anything ready. Big mistake, just a really big mistake. So just start early. And just get like, I had a big document of every single college I applied to, every single club I did, every single award, and everything, just so I can like put it all in again. So just, I'd say like get a list of all of your colleges, all of their subs if they have it already. It should be like July, I think. Yeah, but you got this, guys. Like, end of the day, college doesn't define you. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be anywhere. The weather's really hot though. But yeah, stay safe, guys. Good luck.